hate to disappoint you. Huh? You triggered my trap card!
What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G, Two-Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming! Alright, so I was really digging everything I saw in the final, the grand polish of versions for Shoot Again Games' Born to Serve. That's right, the government has cut your team's funding and now you have to find regular jobs. And there's only one position opened at the local diner. And that's the only job in town. So you and everyone else are competing. See who can get the best tips. That's who's going to get the job. This game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see and play through this final version. I'm going to show you how to set up the game. But before that, why don't we check out a little bit of mail. Ha! The mail room. I love the smell of paper. Alright, so this I actually wanted to do. It's a callback. It's a callback to something I answered 3 weeks ago. And it hasn't happened yet. So I'm owning it. It's all my fault. I'm owning it. But this is what I'm talking about. One of our friends, Christopher Mortimer, 3 weeks ago, dropped a comment for our Pixie playthrough of 4 Against Darkness, Chapter 1 of the Caves of the Kobold Slave Masters, Slave Masters. I played a lot of A1 through 4. It sticks in my mind. Some of you will get that. But I told him at the time, Christopher Mortimer said, I'm a big fan of this game and thoroughly enjoyed your playthrough. Looking forward to Chapter 2. Christopher, thank you so much. I can't articulate well enough how much fun I had both playing that game, as well as the filming and editing of it to bring it to everyone. As you saw, that was a lot of heavy editing. It took a long time, and in order to do Chapter 2, I really want to know that I have enough time ahead of schedule that I can dedicate to it, so I can make it at least as good as I thought I made Chapter 1. Now, I'm only just creeping back ahead of schedule right now. We had a couple of personal real-life things happen that I'm not going to get into. That's on me. But now we're starting to get back a little bit ahead of schedule. So I'm hoping at this point right now, realistically, because I really want to do this so bad, realistically, I'm looking at next month, mid to end of June. So that's the best I can predict right now. If it goes well, and I get into a good rhythm, a good flow, with being a little bit ahead of schedule enough to edit that project, then after Chapter 3, when the module is over, like I said 3 weeks ago when I told you 2 to 3 weeks it's going to be up and ready and we're going to have so much fun, it's going to be great, oh my god, Christopher, yeah, well, if it all goes well, then I definitely want to do, as I said, a Knights of Destiny. And I think that'll be a one-shot. Looking over it, it definitely looks like the story is going to play out hour and a half. So at least that'll be, just one part. I won't have to worry about, when's part 2 dropping? When's he giving us part 3? I'm getting upset! We don't have to, worry about that with Knight of Destiny. So, Christopher, I'm sorry, really, truly, I'm sorry that I'm late with this, but I'm not late with it because I just haven't gotten around to editing it. I'm late because I haven't had a chance to even play Chapter 2 yet, much less film. So please bear with me, Christopher. Bear with me, please. Thank you. And that's I really wanted to address that since, as you can tell, I was overdue. But while we get down to the table, And why don't we see exactly how to play Born to Serve. So let's figure out how to set this game up. The first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to pull the components out. And that's going to consist of the 9 table tiles, the 46 tip cards. There are 65 service markers in 5 colors. That makes 13 for each of the 5 players. Each of those service markers are going to have 1 token. They'll have 125 on one side and 0 on the other. There are 8 staff cards: bartender, busboy, chef, hostess. Whoa, we got 2 there. Maitre d', owner, valet, and the washroom attendant. There are 3 $2 tips associated with the chef, and there is a $3 tip associated with the hostess. There are 10 superheroes to choose from in this 5-player game, 2 to 5-player game. Adam Amp, the Firecracker Kid, the Human Pinball, Madame Mystique, Mighty Myrtle, Mr. Mist, Miss Twister, Nuclear Nelly, Princess Charming, and Whoosh. There are also 10 accompanying player boards for when you choose your hero, which have your hero's information on the other side. One thematically groovy first hero token, and also fantastically groovy, is this score pad. There are 5 Fortresses of Loneliness tiles, 1 for each color. There is 1 Phantom Realm, and there are 5 Player Aid cards, double-sided. Now that you have the components all out, you're ready to start setting up the table to play the game. I'm going to go a little bit off track here. I'm not going to go quite in the exact same order that the rulebook goes in, but I am telling you only things that come from the official rulebook. So I want to start off with the table tiles because they are going to be at the center of your playing table. The number of players is going to determine the number of table tiles that you're going to use. Let's set this up for a 3-player game. For a 3-player game, you're going to only use tables 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If this was a 2-player game, it would just be tables 1 to 3. 4-player game, we would have used up to tables 6 and 7, and then a 5-player game would have taken us all the way to table 9. But setting up for a 3-player game, we're going to be using tables 1 through 5. Oh, and least I forget, let me show you the table setup for a 1-player game. A 1-player game. There are no tables in a 1-player game because you're not competing against anyone else for the last job in town. It's yours. Next, in building out from the center, you'll place the Phantom Realm somewhere along the bottom, and the scoring chart will go up top. So at this point, this is the way our table seems to be looking. Everything's going good. Then each player is going to choose a color, and then they're going to take each of the service markers for their color that they have chosen. Stay on your own side. They will get a Fortress of Loneliness in their color. And then they will each get a tracker to track their score in their color. Also make sure that each player gets a double-sided cheat card. Then each player is going to take their score marker and they're going to put it off the 0 side of the board. Now these are double-sided 0, focus, and 125. So if you do get to the end of the board down here, start back up at the top, but flip from the 0 side to the 125, noting that this is 1 plus 125. But for now, blue is starting like green and black. Off to the side at 0. Each player will take their appropriately colored service markers and place them in their own Fortress of Loneliness. The Hero Selection cards. So these are going to be shuffled. These are going to be shuffled up. However you shuffle your cards, as long as they get shuffled. They're going to be shuffled, and each player is going to be dealt 1 card, and that will be their hero. Now, it is suggested that in the first game, you would not use the Firecracker Kid. You would not use Princess Charming. For the very first game, learning the game, it suggests Madame Mystique, Nuclear Nelly, the Human Pinball, Whoosh, and Adam Amp are the suggested for your first game. May I also offer up an alternative, which would be shuffling them up, and then each player drawing 2 and picking 1. But that's just my own house alt idea. Next, we're preparing for the staff to arrive. So we always start off with the washroom attendant available. For your very first game, it suggests that you will be removing the maitre d' and the chef for your first game as you're learning. So we'll just... And it does suggest that we are going to leave in the bartender, the busboy, the hostess with the mostess, the owner, and the valet. But no, we're not going to be using all of these, not necessarily anyway. That depends on the number of players in your game. We are set up for a 3-player game, so therefore there are going to be 3 additional staff members. Each player will get a chance to choose who is going to be in this game. So the last player to go out and have a meal at a restaurant becomes the first player, the first hero. Let's say it's you. The person to the right then selects one of the available staff members to place out. Like maybe the busboy. And then it'll go around to the next player to the right, who brings out the hostess. And then the last player decides the owner might be away and this place can still run, but it's not going to run that well without a bartender. So, let's get him out there. And now you have your staff ready to go. Now remember, since you have the hostess out, she gets her token, which will raise a $1 tip to a $3 tip on a table. If you had the chef out, you would get his 3 tokens as well. The last thing we need to do on setup is get ready for the customers. So the customers in this game are represented by the tip cards, and there are 2 types of customers in this game. The first type of customer is represented by the green cards, whether that is for lunch or for dinner. And these are the customers that are staples. You see them there all the time. They're fixtures to the place. They practically get their mail delivered there. And because of this, you know how much that they're going to be tipping. These are known quantities in the game. You know who they are, you know how much they tip. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to be separating the green tip cards by the number of players. So since we have this set up for a 3-player game, then starting with the lunch crowd, we would only keep the cards that say 2+ or 3+ on them. The cards that say 4 and 5, we will not be playing with. And we'll be doing the same thing for our 3-player game with our dinner stack here, only keeping the 2+ and 3+, and the others we don't need for now. Your yellow tip cards, on the other hand, are unknowns. They're infrequent customers or new customers. You don't know exactly how much they're going to tip. Maybe they're starving artists and they're going to tip kind of lousy. Maybe they're average Joes and they give a decent tip. Or maybe they're trying to impress someone and they're going to leave a big tip. You're really not sure with the yellows. For our 3-player game, after shuffling, we're going to draw 6 cards. We're going to leave them face down. And the unused cards, we're likewise going to leave face down. And we're going to set them aside over here. We don't need the rest of these for right now, but we're going to keep them handy. And don't forget those green tip cards you have, because we're going to be shuffling all of these together now. And this is going to be the deck that we're going to be drawing from, taking from during the lunch rounds. And get it all mixed up, all shuffled up, however you like. As long as you get it shuffled up. Repeat the same process with the dinner deck. And get them all mixed up like so. And then you're going to take the lunch deck and you're going to put it on top of the dinner deck. And now your customers are here and they're ready to go. And now that you get your tip deck all ready, you just have to let the customers in, so to speak. So starting with the first table, you're going to take a card and remember, leave the yellow ones face down. So you don't know who they are. They're new customers or people that tip irregularly. The greens, however, you know. So flip them over so everyone can see. That's your old buddy Sal. She always comes by and leaves $5. You know her well. Just as you know Sam very well. Always leaves a generous tip. Now you're ready, because the tables are set and the customers are out. Then each player is going to be taking 5 of the service markers. And they're going to be moving them from the Fortress of Loneliness to their character card, and then one of them you're going to flip over to the $1 priority side. And that, my friends, is how you set up Born to Serve. In fact, in the space that I have with the table and the camera set up, I can actually show you this as a much better example of what everything's going to look like in the large scale, the large picture, instead of piece by piece. Well, that's it for the setup. Join us later today for the full How to Play Born to Serve by Shoot Again games. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out Two Gun Pixie over on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's very cool that you go over and you check us out over there and see exactly what it is we do. I also want to thank everyone that's decided to go take a look over at the official Two Gun Pixie Zazzle store. Take a look at some of our nerdy RPG-inspired t-shirts and hats, mugs, stickers, mouse pads. All right, man. Thank you, everyone, so much. That is so very cool that you checked that out. And coming over here, right here, where it all starts, you know, YouTube. Thank you for watching our videos and subscribing to our channel. It's so cool that you do. Thank you for watching and commenting, for liking our videos, and thank you so much. Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing our videos. That's every time which I'm not saying it happens all the time, constantly, but when I have seen it happen and I see a video might get shared, man, it really gets me pumped. And I tell Tommy V and I tell 20-Sided Warriors, and everyone is just so happy about that. So thank you so much. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G. The Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, I am out of here.